Blind date gone wrong. I'm not the girl you supposed to meet, she said, but the CEO smiled. The scent of sugar and flour hung heavy in the air of Claire Donovan's tiny bakery, clinging to the edges of her apron as she scrubbed the counters. The day had been slow, another one of those painfully empty afternoons where dust crept across the cracked floor tiles like a quiet reminder that rent was due in just 3 days. Her fingers ached from kneading dough for loaves that had barely sold, and her golden hair had stray flecks of flower petals from the decorative cupcakes she tried to sell. Her phone buzzed on the windowsill, the sharp sound slicing through the silence. She wiped her hands quickly, tapping the call icon. "What is it this time?" she asked, bracing herself for another demand. "Claire, I need a favor," her sister's voice, brisk and impatient, came through the speaker. "There's a dinner tonight. Very exclusive. Nathaniel Hayes. You know him?" Claire frowned, shaking her head. "No, CEO of Hayes Industries, billionaire widower. Anyway, I was scheduled through the agency, but a better opportunity came up. An oil tycoon's son, same time. I need you to go in my place." "Absolutely not," Claire said sharply. "You want me to pretend to be you? That's ridiculous. Just sit there. Smile. Don't say anything stupid." "He probably won't even bring the kid anyway," Hannah's voice said, almost teasingly. Claire's brows furrowed. "Kid?" "Yes, a daughter. But you don't have to worry. Just be presentable." Claire laughed nervously. "I bake cakes, Hannah. I do not go on fake dates with billionaires." "Claire, you owe me," Hannah said, her voice dropping a level, sharper than before. "I gave up college for you after Dad left." "That's not true," Claire muttered. "Don't care. You owe me your whole youth. One date isn't too much to ask." Claire's chest tightened. She glanced around her quiet bakery, at the cracked tiles, at the empty display cases she could barely afford to fill. Maybe, just maybe, she owed the world something. "Fine," she murmured reluctantly. "But if he asks, I'll tell the truth. I'm not lying for you." "Just don't mess it up," Hannah snapped before ending the call. The restaurant was sleek, bathed in warm golden light, and far too quiet. Claire felt out of place in her only formal dress, a soft navy wrap that never quite lined up at the buttons. But there he was, Nathaniel Hayes, tall, impeccably dressed in a charcoal suit that seemed tailored from quiet authority. But what made Claire's stomach twist wasn't his wealth or presence, it was the little girl holding his hand. Tight curls framed her small face, big brown eyes sweeping the room cautiously. She couldn't have been older than 4, but her grip on Nathaniel's hand was firm and assured. Nathaniel approached the reserved table, checking his watch, then his eyes landed on Claire. "Mr. Hayes?" she asked hesitantly. "Yes, are you?" "I should probably tell you something before we sit," Claire said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm not the girl you were supposed to meet." There was a pause. Then a small, soft smile formed on Nathaniel's lips, not the polite corporate smile she had expected, but something warmer, gentler. "Then I guess I met the right one," he said calmly, voice rich and even. Claire blinked, unsure how to respond. "You're not upset?" "I came because my daughter wanted to see the aquarium next door," he said, pulling out a chair for her. "I wasn't expecting anything." The little girl climbed into her seat silently, still observing Claire carefully. Claire sat, stiff and awkward, unsure how to behave in such a polished setting. Nathaniel adjusted his cuffs, observing her quietly. "So, what should I call you?" he asked. "Claire," she said softly. "Nice to meet you, Claire," he replied, nodding. Dinner began in silence, punctuated only by the faint clink of cutlery. Claire was acutely aware of every tablecloth wrinkle, every utensil heavier than anything she had ever held. Nathaniel was composed, practiced in the art of dining, while Ellie, the little girl, watched her carefully. When the server brought the children's meal, chicken fingers and fruit slices. Ellie didn't touch it. Claire leaned forward slightly. "Mind if I try something?" she asked. Nathaniel raised an eyebrow. "Go ahead." Claire picked up a small grape from Ellie's plate. "This one looks like it has a secret. Want to guess what it is?" She made the grape hop across the plate playfully. Ellie's tiny smile flickered, then she gently nudged it back. Nathaniel watched her, something unreadable in his eyes. Time passed quietly, but slowly, the tension softened. Claire poured juice into Ellie's cup, wiped a small spill, and coaxed a tiny nod with a quiet, "Thank you." By the end of the dinner, Claire glanced at her watch. "I should probably go. Early morning at the bakery." Nathaniel nodded. "Of course." But as she rose, a small hand gripped hers. "Ellie." Tight. Deliberate. Claire froze. Nathaniel looked stunned. "She's never done that before," he whispered. Claire felt something swell inside her. And for once, she didn't want to let go. 2 days later, Nathaniel discovered a drawing in Ellie's backpack. Folded into quarters and smudged with crayon dust, it depicted 3 stick figures, 1 tall man, 1 small girl with curly hair, and 1 woman with bright yellow hair in a blue dress. Below the figures, Ellie had written, "Claire." Nathaniel stared at the paper, his fingers tightening around it. Later that afternoon, a bell jingled in Claire's bakery. She glanced up, expecting a customer, and saw a delivery man holding a bouquet of cheerful yellow daisies. A small note tied with twine read, "Ellie says, hi, see." Claire stared at the card long after he left, feeling something stir in her chest. From that day, their encounters became a gentle rhythm. Claire began spending afternoons at the park with Nathaniel and Ellie. The little girl, once quiet and withdrawn, laughed more, explored, and gradually regained her spark. Nathaniel, too, opened up, speaking about life, grief, and parenting, slowly sharing himself with Claire, who had never expected to be more than a stand-in. One rainy afternoon, Nathaniel brought Ellie to the bakery after closing. "She's been asking to help," he said. Claire's face lit up. "I could use an extra set of hands." Ellie donned a tiny apron, and together, they baked cinnamon rolls, flour and sugar dusting their hair and cheeks. Nathaniel watched from the counter, a soft smile on his lips. When Ellie tasted the first sticky cinnamon roll, she whispered, "Yummy," her voice clear for the first time in months. Claire froze, tears threatening. Nathaniel's hand brushed Ellie's gently. The next morning, Claire opened the bakery to find an envelope taped to the door, a receipt for fully paid flour and flour deliveries. She stared in shock, realizing someone had quietly supported her dream. A call to Nathaniel confirmed it. "Are you trying to buy my affection?" she asked. "No," he replied. "I just don't want you giving up your dream over a few bags of flour. Ellie believes in you, that's enough for me." Claire whispered a quiet, "Thank you," and that was all. Weeks passed in a gentle rhythm of visits, baking, and quiet conversations. Claire wasn't a babysitter or a girlfriend, she was something unnamed, but precious, between Nathaniel and Ellie. She watched Ellie blossom, laughter ringing freely, and felt herself healing in turn. Then came the inevitable visit from Hannah. She entered the bakery, designer heels clicking sharply against the cracked floor. "Still smells like burnt sugar and desperation," she sneered. "What do you want?" Claire asked evenly. "Just checking in." "You've been visible lately," Hannah said, scrolling through photos on her phone, park outings, bookstore visits, bakery days. "With Nathaniel and the little girl." "Charming." Claire didn't reply. "You do realize he was my setup, right? And you stole him?" Hannah spat. "I didn't steal anyone," Claire said quietly. Hannah scoffed. "You were always meant to be the side character. Stay in the background where you belong." She left, door slamming. That night, Claire stayed behind long after closing. She stared at the dried daisy Ellie had once placed on the counter and the faded drawing taped to the wall, 3 figures baking together. Hannah's words echoed, "You were always meant to be the side character." Had she been? She hadn't grown up in wealth, attended charity galas, or known which fork to use at formal dinners. Nathaniel belonged to a world of gold and privilege, and Ellie deserved someone secure. Maybe she'd made a mistake. By sunrise, her decision was made. She sent a message to Nathaniel, "I need to focus on the bakery for the holidays. Things are getting busy. Thank you for everything." A week passed. No flowers, no notes, no surprise visits. Ellie grew quiet again. The crayons remained untouched. Nathaniel found the family drawing hidden away, folded tight in the back of a drawer. The child missed Claire, and so did he. One evening, the bakery bell jingled. Nathaniel stood there, holding the drawing, unsure, hesitant. He placed it between them. Claire's hands trembled as she smoothed it out. "You kept this?" she whispered. "Ellie did," he said softly. "She folded it when you stopped coming. I found it in her drawer." "Not meant to break anything," Claire said. "I know," Nathaniel replied. "Ellie fixed it. Not just the picture. She fixed something in me too. But only when you were here. She doesn't need perfect. She just needs you. And, so do I." Claire's chest tightened. She reached for the drawing, feeling something shift in her. Weeks later, Ellie's birthday arrived. The backyard was simple, strung with paper lanterns, pink balloons, a handwritten banner, "Happy Birthday, Ellie." Claire stood by the lemonade table, uncertain if she belonged. But Ellie's glow told her otherwise. The little girl held a slightly lopsided cake, sticky fingers and all, and whispered, "For you." Later, as they sliced the birthday cake, a small velvet box clinked against the plate. Claire's breath caught. Nathaniel was on one knee. Ellie held Claire's hand tightly. "We want you to stay," he said softly. "Not for a day, but forever." Tears streamed down Claire's face. She nodded, embracing both Nathaniel and Ellie. Their family was imperfect, messy, flour-dusted, but real. Weeks later, the bakery smelled of cinnamon and celebration. String lights danced above. Ellie squealed as frosting landed on her nose, and Claire wiped chocolate from Nathaniel's cheek. Laughter rang through the room, unburdened and free. Their family, formed of second chances and unexpected love, was finally complete. Claire looked around, heart full, and whispered to herself, "I was the wrong girl, and yet, I am exactly where I belong."